In the given problem, we are asked to display numbers that are multiples of 10. The first 10 numbers that are multiples of 10, and these are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, until 100. Okay, so the last value will be 100. So the first thing that we do is we initialize the value of a variable first, and that will serve as our loop counter variable. So let's say we're going to use the the variable num. And then we will set a value, the initial value for this. So based on the given problem, what do you think should be our initial value? Very good. We can use 10 as our initial value because anyway, the multiples of 10 starts with 10. Okay, so after initializing the value of num, which will serve as our loop counter variable, the one who will count how many loops have been created, then we set the condition using while loop. So while, and then we set the condition num is less than or equal to, what do you think is the value that we should be reaching so that a certain block of code will done by the program? Very good. It should be set to 100 because that's the last value of the first 10, the first numbers that are multiples of 10. Okay, so we have here while num is less than or equal to 100. So if this condition is true, okay, if the value of num is always less than or equal to 100, then the program should execute the following blocks of code. Okay, we put it in curly braces. First, it should display the value of num, and we will be using document.write. Okay, so we display the value of num using document.write, and then we apply some HTML codes here, which is the BR tag, so that when it is displayed, it will be displayed vertically. It will go to the next line. And then we have here num. Okay, so whatever the current value of num here will be displayed if the condition is always or results to true. And then we do the incrementation so that we can reach the condition. So we will have here num equals num plus, what do you think is our incrementation value so we can reach the condition? Very good. It should be 10 because what we want to produce are numbers that are multiples of 10 so that we can reach this condition. Okay, that's it. That's the program. So you have there, we initialize the value of num to 10. That's the first value of num. And then you compare, is num less than or equal to 10? If the condition is evaluated to true, then the program will do the statement inside the curly braces, which are to display the current value of num, and then to always increment num by 10. So in here, the value of num changes because of the incrementation value, so that we can reach this condition. And once the condition is reached or evaluates to false, then the program will terminate. When you run the program to the browser, output will look like this one. So as you see, we have here the initial value of num, which is 10, and then using document.write, it displays the value of num, which is 10. And then because of the incrementation by 10, then the number increases also by 10. And then since we set the condition until 100, so it displays only until 100. And because of the BR tag, that's why the numbers are displayed vertically, meaning the numbers go to the next line every time BR tag is encountered in the code. Let's simulate the program. So we have here the value of num, the initial value is 10. And then we compare, is num less than or equal to 100? True. So display the output, display the current value of num, which is 10. So it will be displayed here. Then num is equal to num plus 10. So this becomes 20. Then we test, is 20 less than or equal to 100? Still true. So display the value of num, which is now 20. And then add 10 to the current value of num, add 10, this becomes now 30. Then compare, is 30 less than or equal to 100? True. So plus display the value of the num, which is 30, and then add 10 to the current value of num, and this becomes now 40. And then we compare, is 40 less than or equal to 100? True. So therefore, display the value of num, which is 40, and then add 10 to the current value of num, and this becomes now 50. And then we test again, is 50 less than or equal to 100? True. Document that right, display the value of num, which is 50, and then add 10 to the value of num, and this becomes now 60. And then you compare, is 60 less than or equal to 100? True. Therefore, display the value of num and display 60 in the browser, add 10 to the current value of num, and this becomes 70. Then compare, is 70 less than or equal to 100? True. Therefore, document that right, display the value of num 70 in the browser. Then add 10 to the current value of num, this becomes now 80. Compare again, is 80 less than or equal to 10? True. Therefore, display the value of num, which is now 80, and then add 10 to the current value of num, and this becomes 90. And then go back, compare, is 90 less than or equal to 100? True. So therefore, document that right, display 90 in the browser, and then add 10 to the current value of num, and it becomes 100. Then compare, is 100 less than or equal to 100? True. So therefore, document that right, display 100. And then add 10 to the current value of num. This becomes 110. And the last value of num will be 110. So as you notice, 110 is no longer displayed in the browser because it already exceeded the condition or the value that we set in the condition, which is 100. So what is displayed only are the multiples of 10 starting from 10 until 100.